This is called Strike Hold, and this was it cleans, lubricates, and protects, as it says. But it's an amazing product. I have never seen anything like this. You know, I don't even think it's up on our website, but it will be tomorrow. It does everything. It's just amazing. It does everything. It cleans, it lubricates. We had the threads on our planer were rusted, and we had to open it up to 6 inches, which you normally wouldn't do. And we sprayed it down with this stuff, and in 10 minutes it had eaten through all the rust, and it worked just perfectly.
I know, just by way of, I do quite a bit of shooting, and I read that you could use this for guns.
Right.
And I sprayed it down the bore of one of my pistols, and I was amazed. It immediately cleaned the bore out.
Yep. Unlike any other product, it actually goes through the water. Other products like PB Blaster and things like that, if you fill them in a cup of water, they lay on top of the surface and they do nothing. If you actually put this in, this goes through the water and will eat a styrofoam cup like that.
How long does this last, though? I'm curious.
It lasts for 5 months on a non-moving part. So it'll waterproof for 5 months, like an electrical connection or things like that. But if it's something that's moving all the time, you want to just keep spraying it on a regular basis to keep it protected. Now, what we're going to do is very simply, we're going to spray.
Oh, you're a chicken, is what you. We did this earlier.
Well, all you do is you spray the surface good, okay, like that, and then you spray anything that's going to be.
Let me get furniture. That won't take the finish off of her chair, will it?
Spray the light bulb too. All right. Now you screw the light bulb together, and I'm just going to show you a simple test of this. You're going to see a really neat demonstration of this when the manufacturer comes in. So we have this. All right. Now this is regular water here, just like nothing special about it. And we're actually going to take that and drop it in the water.
Are we going to go offset?
Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Can you believe that?
Can you stick your finger in that water?
No.
Go ahead.
But isn't that amazing? All right, so, and then you could just take it apart. Now look at this. Watch this. A little bit of water on there. Here we go. Ready? Ready?
Thought we were going to have an Alcatraz moment.
Look at that. I mean, can you believe that? I mean, that is absolutely amazing. So imagine like, like let's say your car, if you drive an old clunker or something, and every time it rains, it runs bad. Just spray down the spark plug wires, distributor cap, all of that stuff with this, and it'll protect it for 5 months.
Well, now, big thing, and you and I had talked about this. For all of you guys that are field carpenters, framers, stitchers guys, all that, if you take, and you think of your tools that rust, the chucks on your drill.
Yep. Just spray down everything in your toolbox with this stuff.
Router bit shafts, saw blades.
Yep.
Once again, all your tools, all contact.
Are we out?
We're out.
We're out. Here we are. We're back.
You've been outed.
Okay. We're going to talk about cutting holes in solid surface and actually anything else. But this, we've actually figured out, is a really good sinkhole cutter outer.
Okay, so we're going to show you how to make either a sink cutout or a cooktop cutout in solid surface. But you could do the same thing if you were doing laminate.
Absolutely.
Or if you were doing anything else you need to make a hole in.
Sure, a wood butcher block, whatever. It wouldn't make any difference at all.
No problem at all. So what we did is most sink cutouts are back about 3.5 inches or so.
Now something's missing from this. This is different. This doesn't look like that one does.
That's something you're used to, isn't it? No, I mean grabbing bars, holding like this.
No, seriously, what we did, folks, is for this operation, we actually took this off because it's not necessary. And this can be used in the center and clamped down. It can be brought back to an edge. So wherever you need to cut the hole, you can do it with just this the way it is without this piece.
And the great thing about it is you can either use it with something like Danny's clamps, or we also have, if you want to grab the woods.
The woods, yes.
Also the woods clamps on the, I believe it was the 1/2 inch side.
Yes, I believe you're right.
We found out how do they work.
But actually, wait a second.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yep, yeah. Actually, wait a second. We have to put our corners under first. When you're doing a sink cutout, you're going to need to do corners. So we have a pre-manufactured corner here that actually fits right underneath here.
Which will give you a
radius inside corner. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's 1.5 inch radius that these are. And they will be available in other radius dimensions.
See that doesn't even move now.
No, it doesn't, but I still want to clamp the whole thing down so that the whole unit doesn't move. So I'm just going to take these, the solo clamps, and we're just going to put them over that edge. Actually, if you'd go in just a little bit further, Ken, we can get on that metal lip on the inside. Okay, so now these corners are held in place very nicely. Mm-hmm. And we only have 2 of these corners because these are just actually prototypes. We're just working on these. So we will have more.
But we found out they work extremely well.
Right. And actually, I think I'm going to let you route, and I'm going to turn the Denray dust wall on.
Okay.
Because there's going to be a lot of dust generated. So give me just a second to fire it up.
But the great thing that we found is these Woods clamps, which have a setting either for a 1/4 inch height material or a 1/2 inch, really locks these down well. So this gives you a lot more flexibility in the field.
You got all your corners?
Yep.
It's always good to check them.
So this will give us, now these can be ordered in any radius.
Well, right now they can't, but that's the hopes.
But they can be made because it's a custom-made item anyway.
Right.
Okay. We're going to use the same router, once again with the index space.
That really holds nice and tight, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. We'll start here at the square point.
Weird when you're not used to which one it is. Now, if you were going to do a cutout for a drop-in stove, you wouldn't need a radius corner like this. This would be sufficient, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do we want to just tip that up a little bit? And
yeah, let's lift that right up. You can see here, and we can actually leave these right in place. They won't go anywhere. But these right here delivered probably just about the perfect radius for a either stainless
steel
or a cast iron sink.
Right.
And of course, right here, the regular square corner gives you the perfect radius that you'd need for most cooktop cutouts. That's up to about a 1/4 inch radius behind.
Okay. Now, one thing I do want to point out that I'm just noticing, and I just want to bring it up again. If you were going to make a sink cutout on a solid surface top or a laminate top, you're going to draw your sink out. You're going to do your layout work first. You're going to draw your sink, and then all you have to do is set your blocks on the edge, and then you're just going to move it back over.
Yeah, as you can see, the block actually perfectly lines up. No matter where we go, the block perfectly lines up with the edge of our cut.
Right. I think it's great.
Very simple. I mean, almost anybody can do it.
So if you were going to do a sink cutout, Dave, what arm lengths would you get for these? You'd probably buy the next size larger set,
next
right?
Next size up would be the 38-inch one. Okay. I'll give you 10 inches more of a cut.
All right. Now, a 38-inch wouldn't put in a 36-inch sink, though.
No.
It would put in a 32? No, it wouldn't. You'd have to go to the next size up.
Yeah.
So maybe what we ought to think about doing is
even a custom size arm.
Yeah, what we ought to do is think about maybe making a setup for sink cutout.
So figuring countertops, what, 21 inch?
25.
25 inch. So being that what we would be working on, using the block can tell you with the 6-inch sub base how close to the end you could get.
Right.
And we could figure out the best arm to go.
Now, let me ask you a question. I don't want to bring up a possible negative, but would this fixture allow you to cut the sink hole in on site if it was up against a wall, or would this have to be done prior to? Well, actually, you wouldn't do it on site. Well, you could do a drop-in on site, I suppose. But if you were working up against a backsplash, like a post-form top.
You just have to have that much room, that's all, because you bring this bar all the way back and you could extend it through this side. So this would let you get, well, no, the limitation is the width of the block.
The width of the block and that. Right.
Right.
It'd be really important to really work out the cutout detail well prior to installation.
Well, one thing you could do too very easily, if you're going to use the suction cups, you could eliminate this and just put a board on the back that's your stopper. And it could only be 1 inch wide. Maybe it's just the back of the countertop. And then you would just come in, go over, and back out. But you wouldn't have the availability for the corners. But again, I didn't want to bring up a negative, but I just want to point out what the limitations are of this. So you would be doing this in the shop with no backsplash attached.
Yeah. Then most cutouts, well, I'd say virtually all cutouts are made in the shop anyway, because you don't want to make a mess like this.
No, definitely not.
So
okay, let's take this out, and we have 10 minutes, and what I'd like to do is show how we did the fluted doors.
Do a door. Okay.
Okay. You got that?
Yep.
You sure? Now what we're going to do here, and again, this is kind of improv because we've got a little bit more time than we thought. We're going to go ahead and show you how to make a door panel like this. And actually you can do one whole cutout, or you could do numerous cutouts in MDF or particle board or real wood. I was just looking at you, Ken.
Okay, so Dave's got his router all ready to go.
What are we going to need to do to set up here, Dave?
We're going to use a raised panel bit.
Okay.
As the profile that will give us the raised panel cut.
Now, can we set up right on this board? We don't need need this set up, right? We can clamp right on here.
You want to draw out where we want to cut, or we just set it up with a block? Why don't we go?
Why don't we just do a block's width? That'll be good.
Well, 2 blocks because we got to go on the edge of the.
Okay. We got to kind of do this one a little bit quickly.
Oop.
Yep, I saw that. All right, and again, we would be using longer arms.
Bring it right in.
Yep, we'll just screw these down. All right, we're going to bring that in. That squares it up automatically. We're just going to lock down the one. But now, where did we want to put this block, Dave? 1 inch. We're going to flush this up out here, or are we going to make this actually
Why don't we
wider?
put it right on the edge?
Okay. Hold on, Ken. Oh.
We'll go on the edge on both of them. There. Are you on the? No, on the edge.
On the edge like that. Okay.
Right.
And we're going to square it up. Okay, go ahead and get your router bit in. I'll finish up on this.
All right.
We don't want to have people think this is a 3-man job.
Okay, square that up.
Okay. See how that squares up right there? Is anybody still watching? Our cameraman's gone.
No, he's asleep. He's over there.
Okay. All right, so we're going to put that. I'll lock that down. And obviously, again, these rails are not as long as the board are, but we weren't planning on doing this. But
These
let's
rails
just do that
not
real
as
quick.
long as the board are.
The rail, yeah. I'm from the South, man. Okay, this is all locked in place. Very good.
So we're just going to make a square raised panel real quick.
Right.
Obviously, you could lay out the sizes that you wanted just by using the index block.
Yeah. Ready?
Yep. Dave about the cleaning fee, right? Oh, so much for not wrecking the table.
I know. I've always tried not. Let's lay it down on its
lay it
side.
down. Good idea.
There you go. Gee, we've tried not to do that for over a year.
Yeah.
Funny how you came along and ruined it, but
As you can see, I plunged a little too deep. But
Yep. Okay.
But-
Yeah, but it's very simple. Very simple to do.
what if you went right through there on that side too? Oh,
Yeah,
we were in such a hurry. I was trying to set up.
Well, I'm glad you're not invited back.
As you can see, when we roll it over, you can see what. Roll that over, and you can see what.
We can see the whole way.
No, you can see what it really looks like. Oh, look at that! Went right through.
Oh, look at that.
There we go.
Okay.
This is what it would really look like if you were able to take your time and you didn't want to put holes in it for the mouth. Maybe the spider will use that.
You know, we used to have a saying in our shop. We do it nice because we do it twice.
That's right.
Oh, that's great.
That is nice, though. So just a little bit of wood putty, right?
You like that, Ken?
A little bit of putty and away you go.
You like that, definitely. Okay.
Yes, you are twisted.
Good job. Good job. Well, we rushed him.
Okay, so, well, anyway, I mean, as you can see, really, this tool does have a lot of uses. We saw it for sink cutouts, fluting, for making hardware recesses, for doing rabbets,
Dado, mortising.
mortising.
Yep.
Anything else we already said?
You could use it for hinge butt cuts.
Yep.
So you could actually
all
set
kinds
this
of
up on the edge of a door as well?
Yep. All you
And
need is
do the mortising for a hinge on the door?
get it yourself an L-shaped bracket and clamp it to the door just to receive the door, the tool on the side of the door, and cut out your hinge butts.
So really, the tool has a phenomenal amount of applications.
Right.
And I still think that if you locked it in on the base, you could use it for making plunge work, but I'd like to try that myself.
Sometime when nobody's looking.
Just to dispel the...
But yeah, let's
the
not do that
nasty
on the
rumor.
air.
You can use it for other things besides wood too. Plexiglass, cutting plexiglass. We had a guy call the other day. He wants to. He builds air conditioning ductwork, and he needs to route for the ducts to meet each other in the middle of panels, and he needed to control the router's cut.
Right.
So we wanted a tool for that.
Certainly
So really, again, you can do an awful lot with it. And of course, the corners, I think the radius was absolutely just probably about as perfect as you could hope for. Although you would need a different size for the larger base. But with a 6-inch base, this made just about the perfect corner for a stainless steel or a porcelain sink. So just, I mean, a very versatile tool and not really expensive. I mean, I know you've been selling quite a few of these, mostly at the wood shows. So it's a chance for you to see and use a tool that really has a lot more versatility and makes your router a lot more versatile tool.
And it's only one thing hanging on the wall instead of 30 different fixtures.
And you think about it, this tool and a router is great for entry-level carpenter. He doesn't have the floor model table saw for his stacked dado blades. Why not cut your dados for your shelves with your router?
Well, the little trick about putting the board in there is really nice. You know, when you're setting up a dado blade with all the shims and everything in it, it's a real pain to set it up. And not only that, you can't see your cut. So doing blind dados is almost impossible because of the radius of the blade. So you're never going to be able to stop like you can with this. So I'd say that this is definitely a lot more versatile.
Yeah, and really by doing it that way, you don't have to worry about doing over penetration.
That's right. And over penetration can really be a problem.
That's right, sometimes. but at any rate, well, we want to thank Dave for being on the show tonight.
Dave,
thanks for having me down. I enjoyed it.
I know you're the first guy on my party list. And, I guess we just have to let it go.
We do have to ask. Do you think that if we tied this to the back of the truck, we could drag this down the street and have it not be damaged?
To a point, yes.
Sure.
Somebody
I don't think
said
it would hold up as well as our 3M
somebody
gun
said
did.
Black & Decker takes their tools and throws them over their shoulder, and if they still work, they pass.
Is that right? Okay. Well, Good thing Black & Decker's not making this.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll see you next time.
All right.
I'm not going to give him a chance because you'll keep going.
Thanks for joining us, folks, and we'll catch up with you next time.
You have a great day.
All right.